When you hear the term safe injection site, what do you think it means? Talk to your neighbor. Safe injection sites are places where people who use drugs are provided with sterile supplies and can use illicit drugs under the supervision of medical staff. In the case of an overdose, medical professionals are there to give Narcan an opioid reversal drug and call an ambulance if needed. What country do you think these centers started in? Think to yourself for a second. If you guessed Switzerland, you're correct. It was opened in 1986 to fight the rising HIV and overdose rates. Canada took notice and opened the first center in 2003 in North America. Each day, several doses of Narcan are used. The center seems to be working at first. How many people do you think overdose in BC per day? Talk to a partner. The correct and sad answer is 20. This graph is from Ottawa, Canada, showing the rising overdose rates there as well. Watch this video on what happened when drugs were decriminalized in Oregon.
In Oregon, British Columbia's death toll is 3 times that. Decriminalization hasn't brought those numbers down.
Chase, wake up, buddy. There you go. Thanks.
Now I can say we used it.
He's gotten Narcan 4 milligrams in the left nostril.
In the first year, opioid overdose deaths rose 52%.
When did you guys last deal with him?
Yesterday.
Do you guys Narcan him?
Yes.
Okay. He's up and off. It's very likely we see him again.
Sad.
Yeah. Yep. And I've known that guy for 3 years, and I've frankly seen his decline because he used to just use meth, and now every day he's out here using fentanyl, and this is the second day in a row we've Narcaned him.
When drugs were legal, people were using them more on the streets and overdose rates skyrocketed. People didn't feel safe in their communities anymore with not only more drugs but more crime on the street. Watch this news clip on how drugs are impacting America.
Sites in New York apparently have intervened in more than 125 overdoses among more than 640 users. So it begs the question, are they a good idea, or do they just encourage more drug use?
Just look at our urban communities right now. Look no further than 16 American cities having their highest murder rate ever last year. You add on top of that crime and disorder everywhere. People are moving out in droves. Businesses are closing, and opening up injection sites is only going to exacerbate that problem. There was a recent study out of Alberta, Canada, and it mirrors what you're hearing in New York and San Francisco, that crime went up around those injection sites and that it created actually a surrounding area of chaos. Those were their words. And John, fentanyl overdoses were the highest reason for death in ages 18 to 49 in this country for individuals. And now we want to make it even easier for users? No. We need to make sure that we are providing treatment programs, stopping the flow of fentanyl over the border.
In Ontario, injection sites within 200 meters of schools were closed. People were pulling their children out of them because they're worried about the rising crime rates. Carolina Hubner, a loving mother of 2, was shot by a stray bullet from someone leaving an injection site. Watch this short PSA on injection sites. For long-term solutions, there need to be accessible treatment centers for people. In Canada, they're creating heart hubs. While one site can take nearly $1 billion to operate, 19 heart hubs are being created with $378 million that focus on long-term recovery and housing. There also needs to be stricter laws. Keeping drugs off the street will overall bring down overdose and crime rates. What are my thoughts on safe injection sites? I think they should be shut down. Enabling people to use drugs whenever they want is not a viable long-term solution that should be relied on. If illicit drugs could find a way off the streets, there wouldn't be any of the problems that people are experiencing now. It can be hard for people to get help, and that's where there needs to be more affordable and accessible ways. As someone who has watched what drugs can do to a person firsthand, they should be kept as far away as possible. There is no safe way to use drugs, just more damage in the long run.